Morning. Yeah, man, how are you? Thank you very much. How are you? I'm competing in this. I know, but it's road legal, so we'll be taking those off it. Do you want the ticket or you're alright? Yeah, no. Yeah. Well. Welcome to Cadwell Park, nestled in the beautiful Lincolnshire wolds. This picturesque track is one of the most challenging in the UK, with sweeping elevation changes, fast flowing corners and tight, tricky technical sections. And it's narrow. Perfect first venue for our little city car cup races then. And as is normal in motorsport, the car isn't finished on the morning of the first race because all the series specific stickers have only just been delivered. And this necessitates trying to put on the largest sun strip in history, in a field, in the wind.
I was going to say there was less wind in the shop yesterday, but there wasn't.
Thought it might be nice to do the steering wheel up. So I wasn't sure.
I didn't fit it.
No, I did. This is why I've gone back to putting it on.
I bought sticky pads, I bought plates, I bought drill, I bought bits.
Two sticky
You
pads.
do whatever you want, obviously.
Or 3 sticky pads. This is the definition of B-roll, this is. All the boring stuff. As we'll have plenty to worry about without trying to film the footage, we've brought along our friend Ben, whose sole purpose is to point cameras at things and generally get in the way. He's very good at it.
Of course, having a sharp knife helps.
Oh no, I've got 66, dude.
Oh shit.
What am I going to do?
You ordered them.
No, it's have to come down.
You said it's not 99, no?
It's definitely 69.
I love the fact those guys didn't believe we didn't ask for that.
We call the other side, this is what we normally do. We practice on one side.
Give away all of the secrets.
That's a bubble. Is it? What are the chances of that? What Nick's going to do is relatively interesting.
I'm going to finish some shoddy workshop work. The thing with these things is you should never overcomplicate stuff unless it's absolutely necessary. Isn't that right, Rich?
That's right. When is it not necessary?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, cool. So we don't have to worry about
No.
Mint, lovely. All right, cross that off the list.
Excellent.
He said we could weld something to the throttle pedal to act as a throttle stop. but I don't want to contravene the letter of the rules, even though he said it's okay. So I've managed to come up with a solution to put a throttle stop on, so we're not stretching the cable, without welding to or modifying any of the original bits.
Oh, so you haven't modified the pedal, you've put a bolt in it. What, and welded a captive nut to the back of it? That's a whole... Oh, I see. Oh, right, okay, now I understand what you've done. You're a lunatic. I love it. Right, that's flat out.
Yeah, very little tension on that.
Okay, cool. That's perfect then. Our tinkering and Mr. Grindrod's swiping were interrupted by the request for a group photo opportunity. All 10 cars lined up ready for the first race in a brand new series on a beautiful, if quite windy day in Lincolnshire. It's a proud moment for Greg and his team at the BRSCC, who worked incredibly hard to make this happen in very difficult circumstances. And every single one of the cars was turned out immaculately. A credit to all the competitors. We couldn't wait to get stuck in on track. After the rabble departed, we got a closer look at our car. It was quite the rush to get all the decals done in time, and even more of a rush to get them applied to the car. But the end result is amazing, and I couldn't be happier with it. Inspired by the, was it 2005, 2006?
2006.
Zara WRC car. With the roll call over, it was back to the prep work. That's some ugly duggers.
4 ugly duggers, that's plenty for racing.
I would think so. Okay, they ain't coming off. It wasn't long before it was time to get suited and booted, ready for my first qualifying session. I'm ready. I was born ready. Before qualifying, all the cars head to the assembly area. For this year, our class is joining another series on track at the same time, before having a race of its own in 2021. We're with the Club Sport Trophy, open to pretty much any car providing it meets certain power to weight regulations. A lot of them are very fast indeed, especially in a straight line. Qualifying will be one 20-minute session. As I've never driven this track before, and I've only done a dozen or so laps around Donington Park at any reasonable speed, this will be quite the baptism of fire. Only without the baptism. Or the fire, hopefully. Looking forward to it, actually getting on the circuit for the first time. In my first laps around Cadwell, that'd be great. The cars kept rolling in, and pretty soon the assembly area was packed. It had been a very long time since my last competitive car race, and I don't mind admitting that despite the bravado, I was pretty nervous.
And when the gate opens, you've got to go. Otherwise, you can watch them from here.
Did you hear that?
Yep.
So you've got to go down the hill to the bottom.
So are you going into the pits?
No, not if I can help it. You're only going to the pits if there's a problem. You go before they open the gates. Brilliant. No, they open the gates, then you go.
All right.
Yeah.
What?
See you later.
Do you know where we're going? Will you go away?
We're drinking his chances, aren't we?
Which is your favourite nut? Because it's going to be hurting in a second.
I've had them both removed. How do you think he's going to get on?
I'll be happy with the top 3. Actually, I'm lying. I want to win it.
No pressure then. I was patiently waiting in the car with only my own thoughts for company. But soon, the thumbs up were given, the pit crews departed and the cars left the assembly area. All the work in the last couple of weeks has led to this, my first tentative laps in a brand new race car around an unfamiliar circuit. At least the weather was good to us. It was a warm, early August day with just a moderate breeze and the track was bone dry. Now 68 horsepower isn't going to set the world alight. In fact, it's barely enough power to pull the skin off a rice pudding. But there's 10 of us out there, all with the same kit, and it really doesn't matter what your top speed is, because it's all about the racing. Even though we're not particularly quick in a straight line, thanks to the grippy semi-slick tyres and the coilover suspension, we can corner just as fast as many of the quicker cars. This led to some frustration in the cockpit when I kept getting balked by the faster cars. I wasn't a happy chappy.
Oh my God! You every time! F off! Jesus Christ!
There were some properly fast cars in the other class, and after battling with traffic for 20 minutes, qualifying was over.
Yeah, he's going back in up there.
It's fair to say I wasn't particularly happy with what I managed to achieve, and at this point I had no idea where I'd qualified.
So what do you know? Hey?
Right, second. First time here in second in quali. I mean, that's not too bad. Never got a decent lap. The last lap was okay, but I made a mistake. And then I could see in my mirror that my next lap was going to be clear, and the checker flag came out.
And the guy on
So I was really annoyed.
Second, yeah?
Second, yeah. I'll take.
By margin.
Yes, but as I say, I never got a decent lap.
I think it's fair to say that even if I had got a decent unbalked lap, I wouldn't have been much closer to Nick Grindrod, who was absolutely flying. His long experience of these cars on this circuit really showed, and he was a colossal 1.8 seconds faster than me.
It felt like an hour. Yeah. 23.9 miles we did.
So that's half a cup of fuel.
3/4 of a cup at that sort of speed.
Cadwell Park is a circuit steeped in history, with a list as long as your arm of racing greats who've competed on this track. If you think 30 cars herring round is sketchy, you should see the British superbikes around here. It's quite the spectacle. They're all mad. The race meeting was dominated by multiple classes of Mazda MX-5s, along with a huge array of Caterhams. The paddock is a colourful place, full of friendly people, and if any of us runs into trouble, there's never a shortage of folks willing to lend a hand to get you back out on circuit. Motorsport people are the best people. There were some extremely interesting cars in the class we were racing alongside, from V6 powered MR2s to Protons, a Lotus, there was Porsches, and a venerable old Capri. Our car didn't need much attention after qualifying, just a wipe down and a tyre pressure check. And pretty soon, it was time to head down to the assembly area again, only this time it was to line up for the race.
We're just going where we're told.
So. I used to run a Radical for my ex-boss. We used to do quite a few passenger rides with it. And the amount of people that grabbed the red handle thing to get out of the car and pull the extinguisher, AFFF everywhere.
Then they have no business being in a race car.
The Club Sport Trophy race, in which the City Car Cup is a part, takes place over 45 minutes with one mandatory 2-minute pit stop, during which you can change drivers if you wish. Of course, we're not doing that, so I'm driving the full 3/4 of an hour. In 2021, the series will have its own grid of 2 20-minute races at each event. Time was ticking inexorably towards the start of the race and the nerves were beginning to show. I'd not tried a standing start in the car, and this along with myriad other concerns were playing on my mind. Before long, it was time to get ready, get in the car and wait for our turn to leave the pits and head out onto the starting grid.
So the Club Sport race is on the same grid as us, but they've all got to go out first.
So the idea here is for all the cars to make their way to the grid on the pit straight. We'll be lined up in our positions by the marshals, and then we'll be shown the green flag from the starting gantry, and we'll do one lap of the circuit slowly before lining up again for the race start. It's a lonely time, and despite all the safety gear in the car and the equipment that you're wearing, you feel quite exposed. But then the green flag drops and you're away. The green flag lap gives us a chance to warm our tyres and brakes up. Green flag lap over, it was time for the start of the race. So that was the first lap completed, and we'd fallen a little bit behind the leader, but I felt okay. A lap later, this happened. And that was the end of the forward-facing camera, which we'd set up very poorly, so not much of a loss. Thankfully, we dispatched Ben into the woods to get some atmospheric exterior shots, and frankly, he didn't disappoint, which came as a nice change. "20 minutes in and the pit lane opened for our stops. I was ragged and had lost my rhythm and was coming under increasing pressure from behind in the shape of Steve Laidlaw in his red Peugeot, who was right up my chuff. I decided to dive for the pit lane at the earliest opportunity. A chance to take a breather, regroup and get my head back into gear.
You know.
You only need to turn the engine off if you're changing drive.
Oh, okay.
Doing well, mate. Doing real well.
Oh, I've lost my rhythm.
Well, that's because you're trying to.
No, it's because I'm getting
Oh, with traffic.
Every time they pass me on the straight, they pull back in where I want to brake. And I've just lost a load of time.
It's alright, you're still miles ahead of next place.
I'm not. He's right behind me. He was right behind me.
Just come in now.
He was right now. He's right behind me
you
as I
have
pulled
lapped
in.
somebody?
He was that far off my bumper. I promise you, honestly. One
Better
longer.
get this right then. The light, the beam is in the track at the sign, same as it was when you came in.
The 2 minutes was timed from a line at the pit entry to another line at the pit exit, which meant that you had to time your stationary part perfectly. Nick had been timing other competitors to give us an idea of how long to be stopped for. Go too fast and you're back in for a stop-go penalty. Take too long and you're giving away time. I'd had a good stop and gained some time on the leader as well as pulling away from the third place car, but that left me a little lonely out on track. However, behind me there was plenty of close racing. Liam Browning in the grey car was having a right old ding-dong with Clive Brookson in the white Citroen. Hell, that looks like lots of fun.
Samways is now crawling his way back up the field. He's into 13th place, having dropped to 4th.
Try as I might, I just couldn't keep up with the flying Nick Grindrod. But having got my rhythm back, I was pretty safe in second, as long as I didn't make any mistakes. Thankfully, I didn't, and I rounded the final corner for the last time and headed down the pit straight to take the checkered flag in second position. We were 18 seconds behind Nick after 45 minutes, but well ahead of Steve Laidlaw, who picked up a penalty for a pit stop that was under 2 minutes. Naughty boy. With the race now done, there was no podium celebration sadly, so I headed straight back to the pits.
Don't freak out, there might be a time penalty.
What?
I just said don't freak out.
What for?
Time in the pit lane.
What do you mean?
Your man next door reckoned we'd undercut it. Because they were spot on and we picked up time on them.
Yeah, well, according to your thing we weren't.
I know. But they had a proper watch in the car and we didn't. But you were 25 seconds minimum ahead of the next guy. And all they're going to do is add the time on the end. And it's only the time you were short. So
Yeah, but there's a stop and go as well, isn't there?
No, they're just going to add the time.
Okay.
So it might be 3 or 4 seconds over, but you should still be safe.
Well, I think I was well. I thought I would have been well over your 2 minutes by the time I got.
It wasn't well over. 2:04 and a bit I got in it.
Okay, well, I mean, still, all right.
I've not seen your number come up, but they hadn't finished the list.
Oh, okay. Well, they'd stopped. I mean, they'd stopped putting penalties out.
Because they hadn't got time to enforce them.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope not.
All the marshal was winding me up, and that was it. Because he had 4.
Oh. That was pretty cool.
Turns out our pit stop was indeed 2 minutes and 4 seconds, so I didn't get a penalty and I finished in second. 45 minutes flat out was thirsty work and I was desperate for a drink.
Nicely done.
It never went off as much as I thought it would.
I lost the rhythm in the I was okay when it was just
you was
us.
there.
Yeah, we were. I mean, you were eking, and then
Is that a word?
and then once they started passing us, I lost the rhythm.
Yeah.
I lost my rhythm
way.
completely.
Full
And-
my pitch spec.
Yeah, a little bit. I was like, concentrate, Rich, concentrate, and then like don't make mistakes. And of course, next thing I do, make a mistake into
I
park.
seen you come out of onto that back straight, and
Yeah.
you was like sideways coming off gravel,
Yeah,
a bit of smoke, and it was like,
properly,
oh yeah.
that'll do.
Oh, I'll be in the in-car then.
No, it won't. It fell off on lap 3.
No, what, my in-car?
No, it fell off on lap 3.
The in-car camera did?
Yeah, it's gone. I don't know where it is.
Well done.
All right.
It went doink and then waggled around on the lead, and then I don't know what's happened to it.
What about the GoPro?
GoPro's still there, but that's facing it towards me, so you ain't gonna see any of that. But you'll
You'll
get the
see
stop. You'll get the stop. Whether you'll get the fucking full-on drift spec, I don't know. But yeah.
But anyway.
Thanks,
Well
dude.
done.
Thank you very
Well
much
done.
indeed.
Well done.
Right, so have we got any Mr. Muscle? I'll drink that. I'll drink that.
Now I absolutely could drive it the 3 hours back home, but as I don't live with a chiropractor, I figured it best as the sun set on our first race meeting to load it onto the trailer. Join us next week where we'll try and figure out what we have to do to catch Mr. Grindrod. I never did get that drink.